Mike Clifford.
Mike Clifford, 489 Black Plain Road. I wanted to address tonight the vote that was taken to move forward with the $18 million bond question in the special election. I'll explain my reasons for, in addition to the ones that I've given you at many meetings, why I feel so strongly about this. When I served on the school committee in the 1980s for 4 years, to which I was elected, and also on the town budget committee from 2012 to 2016, I always prided myself on one thing, and that is that I didn't take my own personal financial situation and make a decision based on whether I could afford something or not. I made the decision on whether the majority of the people in this town were in a position to afford it. I was disappointed with the vote when some of you make references constantly to your concern about the elderly living on fixed pensions and young families struggling. And when I see you move forward on this question and not even give them a choice of going for the most expensive option or the least expensive option that's going to have a direct impact on their taxes, it sickens me. I live on a pension. I'm 71 years old and I receive a state pension. It's open record, anybody can check it, $49,000 a year. I get 1/3 of my Social Security because the town that I worked in didn't pay into Social Security. So even though I'm entitled to much more, my Social Security check is reduced because I get a state pension. I got no health care upon retirement, and I had to pay for it out of $14,000 a year for the family plan for my wife and I. So I'm not complaining and I'm not pleading poverty on my own defense here. I'm very comfortable financially. I made other investments shrewdly. But I do take exception to the comments that were made, Mr. Beauregard and Mrs. O'Hara, and should we all have to make sacrifices? Well, I guess that depends on what your income is as to whether you're really truly making a sacrifice. If it's a decision that you need to buy a smaller stake instead of the big Delmonico stake that you had your eyes on, I don't have a lot of empathy for that. But a lot of people in this town are going to have to make their decisions not based on what steak to buy, but whether they should use how many boxes of Hamburg Helper this week. And if you don't think they're out there, you're sadly mistaken, because I used to get anonymous letters in the mail all the time, emails to my home address, and from elderly people in the town. So, it's easy to relate, John, I don't see you relating to the people in that particular situation, since you benefit from a $96,000 state pension. I could live on that very nicely too, but I don't. I don't get that. I don't have that luxury. And Claire, I think you get 2 state pensions.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay, you don't?
And I'm going to tell you something.
Tell her to stop.
Point of order. Point of
Let
order.
me finish my comments.
Point of order.
I got those numbers from the state retirement pension site. It's on the website. You can go verify who's getting what, okay? So you want to deny it, but it said you were getting 2. And you were getting 1, $96,000. How many people, John, in this town, elderly, do you think have, never mind a single income for a single person, but do you think have a household income of $96,000 a year? So I do fault the 2 of you for not being empathetic to that situation, and I can understand why you're not. But to sit there and go forward with this when you haven't even taken up the option of getting an updated cost for the 2016 renovation that everybody in this town voted on and approved, it's pathetic. You're not even looking, and you refuse to look at that as an option. It's sad. It's very sad. And I don't want to hear the nonsense about, oh, the building's ready to be condemned. You've had 4 architects, you've paid them close to $300,000, and not one of them has ever said it has to be demolished and it can't be renovated. So that's where I'm coming from, and that's why I think it's from now on when I hear you say, oh, those seniors, those poor struggling seniors, or the poor young families in town, it's rhetoric. In my book, it's rhetoric and nothing more. So if you want to debate me now, Mrs. O'Hara, fine, but please don't start commenting after I leave the podium and don't have an opportunity to refute your comments like you normally do, and so do you.
Well, then I will say that I never said they're all going to have to make sacrifices.
She did. I said she did.
No, you said me too.
No, I said she did.
Okay.
In this economy, Michael, we make sacrifices all the time. Have you been shopping lately? I haven't.
Have they been? Is everybody on your income, Claire? Is everybody living on your income, Claire? Do you really think that most people in this town, retirees, live on an $86,000 pension?
How much you make monthly?
He's out of line. He's out of line.
And I'm not out of line.
He's out of line.
No, I'm not out of line. I sent you all a videotape and actually emailed you an article on the situation in Warwick where the council president chose to stifle someone in the audience from expressing their opinion, and the city of Warwick is now being sued by the ACLU. And I have been stifled at this podium in the past, but I'm not going to be stifled anymore. So thank you very much for your attention. I want that empathy felt for everybody in this town, and I think it's severely missing when you make your decisions. Thanks.